and yeah, and for families or for, for students now, to not have to
Generally, we update you on the bills that passed the legislature and were signed by the governor. This segment, however, was prompted by a bill that failed to pass the Senate. Senate Bill 1086 sought to mandate that Arizona Post prescribe courses that emphasize the prohibition against motorcycle profiling. The bill defined motorcycle profiling as using the sole fact that a person rides a motorcycle or wears motorcycle-related paraphernalia as a basis for taking any law enforcement action against the person, including arresting, searching or questioning the person without any other legal basis under the laws of this state or the United States and the Constitution of the United States or this state. Arizona Post opposes placing such specific training mandates into its statute, but the topic presents a valuable opportunity to refresh officers on the critical concepts of reasonable suspicion and probable cause as they relate to the stopping, searching, or arresting any person, but in this discussion, motorcycle riders. Proponents of the bill modeled it on a Washington state law that they claim has reduced profiling by over 90%. This training segment is intended to remind officers that traffic stops of motorcycle riders, just like stops of any other motorists, must be based on reasonable suspicion, searches must be lawfully conducted, and arrests must be based on probable cause. Proponents of the bill contend that motorcycle clubs are subjected to widespread incidents of traffic stops and detention arising from the mere presence of the groups of motorcyclists riding together and wearing motorcycle-related apparel. These stops, they say, invariably result in extended and intrusive questioning, invasive searches, demands for photographs, and other behavior far beyond the boundaries of a typical traffic stop. We all understand that in order to make a stop, an officer needs to have reasonable suspicion that a person is involved in a criminal activity or committed a traffic violation. Officers are reminded that in order to conduct a Terry stop to detain and question an individual, the facts and inferences taken as a whole must provide a particularized and objective basis for suspecting that the particular person being stopped is committing, has committed, or is about to commit criminal activity. Officers must be able to articulate and document all the specific facts and circumstances that were relied on to justify the stop or seizure. Reasonable suspicion allows officers to stop or detain for a reasonable time to investigate further, to confirm or dispel the suspicion of criminal activity. The investigation may lead to the conclusion that there is probable cause to arrest or search, or that the person is not involved in criminal activity and must be released. An officer may use reasonable force to control the situation. Solely riding a motorcycle and/or wearing motorcycle apparel is not reasonable suspicion of any crime or traffic violation. An officer must have more and to be able to articulate it to stop or detain motorcyclists or any other person. The Arizona Confederation of Motorcycle Clubs is trying to educate its members about the legal standards applicable to stops, searches, and arrests. They have made public records requests of posts, obtained and published the basic lesson plans for traffic stops, ethics, motorcycle gangs, probable cause, reasonable suspicion, search and seizure, constitutional law, and civil liability. Their members are being told how to exercise their constitutional rights. Officers must respect the civil rights of all persons and take all law enforcement actions accordingly. Officers should not be surprised if they are questioned about their actions, given the dissemination of this information. The Confederation points out that the vast majority of motorcycle clubs today are not gangs. In a letter to a state senator, one member states, approximately 75% of motorcycle clubs and their members are military veterans. People are not criminals simply because they ride a motorcycle or wear a club patch. There are firefighter clubs, union worker clubs, Latino clubs, clubs who ride specific motorcycles such as English bikes or Japanese bikes or sport bikes. Certainly, There are criminals who ride motorcycles, and there are criminal motorcycle gangs. It is the task of law enforcement to enforce the laws against these criminals in a constitutional and lawful manner. Stops supported by reasonable suspicion, searches based on valid consent or probable cause, and detentions that are reasonably based on articulable facts and circumstances in existence at the time. Thank you for participating in the Arizona Post Digital Media Training Network and this edition of our continuing training series. Please be careful out there, and remember to always fasten your seatbelt, watch your speed, and wear your vest.